It's real underground shit.
This is real underground shit. All right.
This is just the way I want it to be.
DIADOZ.
What's up? This is interview with how do you want us to call you? Bailey Korea, Bailey Ultimate,
Bailey.
just Bailey.
Bailey, yeah.
So we're out here with Bailey,
Yeah,
DIADOZ.
the ULTD's for unlimited, but you don't gotta say that part.
All right.
So just Bailey now.
Yeah. Well, I guess everyone can introduce themselves.
This is Maru. I go by Reece. Part of the DIADOZ crew, working on the website and other stuff.
Yep. And I'm Renzo, part of the DIADOZ crew. A little bit of this and that. And we got our special guest today, Bailey.
Bailey.
I guess you can introduce yourself.
My name is Bailey. I was born in Virginia. I'm 23. I do all sorts of stuff, but mostly am known for my design work. I do digital, photo manipulation, illustrations, websites, logos, stuff
Graphic
like that.
design.
Fun stuff.
Dabble here and there.
Yeah, everything under the umbrella of graphic design and digital art.
Yeah, so pretty much what everyone wants to do after getting their first computer.
Yeah, I just basically abuse Photoshop every time I wake up.
It must be hard. Like how many hours are you on like Photoshop a day?
A day. Lately it's been like a good solid 0 to 1 hour a day, but like when I'm really on my stuff, like basically one cover can take anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours, or a flyer. I just am really tedious. I'm a perfectionist. I zoom in on every little thing. I don't want anybody to see any like mistakes when they see my work. I want it to be like pristine.
I feel that.
I'm a perfectionist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, how do you balance between that and like your time frame? Like, let's say you do have a time frame for something.
So basically, every day I dedicate like an hour or two to myself, like making sure that Bailey is taken care of. That includes like stuff like obviously hygiene, and then like I like to go on a walk and leave my phone inside. Like getting away from the screens is major. It's super important for your brain. Not a lot of people notice that, because people can go crazy, just looking at a screen all day.
Definitely.
Get burned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I started like really like getting into the socials, I realized like my whole behavior changed. Like I'm just like on it.
Yeah.
Like I'm on the screen all the time. Like if I'm like switching through screens.
Yeah.
And like I had to get better glasses because that shit fucks up your brain.
Workflow is like, I look up to my buddy Gabe. Gabe has a crazy workflow. He goes to work and then he still has enough drive to load up his commissions and do up other work. Like, if I'm going to work, like, some days I just can't go do that
Gabe
stuff.
Estrada?
Yeah, Gabe.
Gabe
Gabe. Shout out to Gabe.
Shout out to Gabe.
Yeah. We commissioned a little thing from Gabe.
That shit's beautiful.
Yeah. So.
Can I cuss on here? Is this like a radio interview or something?
I mean, this is YouTube. Fuck it.
Okay, alright, cool. Sorry.
Yeah, of course. But so we you, me, and Mikey Godsidol, I guess rekindled.
Yeah.
On this group chat that you started.
Yeah.
Was it a year ago now?
Yeah, it started was it like September? No, yeah, September. It was like September, then October, then November, I believe.
Speak on it.
Yes, like explain it from the beginning.
Okay.
Because I don't know about it too.
Basically, it's called Homebase. It's like something that I wanted to do as like a website. I wanted to bring people together and make something more than just me.
Right.
So if anything were to happen, which nothing's going to happen to me, but if anything were to happen to me and I would like to leave, like that's one of my main purposes behind art, is to leave something behind. So my plan is to like bring people together and help people make collaborations and stuff that'll last a lifetime. So I kind of took leadership, took control and noticed like I didn't want to take anybody like that everyone knows. Like I wanted to give a lot of people a chance, because like I see talent in people. That's something that I've always had a keen eye for. Like there's tons of artists that have blown up nowadays that I've been fans of since when they had like no traction, like no attention. And I just kind of was like, there's something about this person, so whatever. And I brought these people together, started a little group chat on Twitter, and about half a year later, 8 months later, we did our first concert. We did a show in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I couldn't show up to this show with another company called Major Coin. who is ran by my buddy Kenny and his friends.
Kenny Bass.
Yeah,
yes.
Kenny Bass, and that is that was a pretty cool milestone to see all of the people, because we had people come from Texas.
I like it.
Where else?
We
Texas.
went up there. Me and Mikey went up there.
Well, you got Texas,
Sam was
Cali.
from
Yeah,
DC,
Sam.
You got
and,
DC.
Sean.
Yeah, and there was all sorts of people coming from all over the place, and that was just something that was super major for me, because I had never done something like that.
So yeah, I mean the whole group chat idea, especially on Twitter, because that's the only real place I see it go anywhere. It must be because the text, Twitter's text based.
We have a Discord too, but there's people with Androids, and just group chats don't work when it's Androids to iPhones. And
Right.
stuff like that, so.
But it's cool because you, the one that you started was basically just I remember I just liked the tweet.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people just
just
hopped
added
on,
people.
and then just everyone introduced themselves, what they did, and then it was just all right, collab, let's collab here, let's collab there.
Yeah, that was the main thing. So I wanted to get people in there, and I didn't want it to be because there's tons and tons of group chats that are I mean, I hate to be disrespectful to anything, but I'm a workhorse. I like to work. I don't like to be stagnant.
Right.
Because when you're stagnant, and then you reflect on being stagnant, it's even worse than when you're actually stagnant. So if I sit there and I'm not doing anything, it's dang, I should be doing something. But then the worst part is when you start doing something and you're why wasn't I doing anything earlier? So, but I wanted to get people to be on the same page and introduce themselves. We have everything really in home base. There's writers, there's rappers, producers, engineers, artists, painters, illustrators,
just creatives
designers,
overall.
a whole hub for creatives to work together and get stuff done. So we actually have a couple projects under our belt. One is released between two artists, one from Virginia Beach named ZK, and another artist, Fatboy Sean, who has now changed his name, and he's in the middle of a rebrand. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
But
he's not Sean no more?
Yeah, he's Deshaun De Garçon or something.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen that.
So, yeah, something. So he's
you met him, right?
Yeah. I think I dropped him off at your crib.
Yeah, Fatboy Sean. He's cool.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
But yeah, it's my good buddy, and I manage him a little bit. But basically, they did a collaboration EP with producers from the group. Turner is on it. J Cam,
Hometown,
and a few other people. Yeah, Turner's from right here in Jefferson County. Shout out to him.
Yo,
Turner from the Pack.
West Virginia,
Teacher. Yeah, definitely check him out online. He's amazing. Super slept on producer.
Word.
That
produce.
Yeah, so we did that, and now we're working on future projects. I want to eventually book a bigger name artist in a bigger name city and pack out my first show. That would be super incredible if I could really put something on and make memories for more than a lot of people. I want to make 100 people have a show that they'll never forget. Yeah,
definitely. Wait, all right. So now that we're on the topic of all right, group chat, everyone introduce yourself. All right, introduce me more of your roots. Where are you from? Originally, and where you spend your most time, and your start of your career. When did you start doing art?
Okay. So the story goes back. I'm not gonna delve too much through the part that doesn't involve with art, but basically I was born in Fairfax, Virginia, and I lived in Manassas for the first 6-7 years of my life in a townhouse with my mom and my dad. Then one of my brothers were born. We got too big for the townhouse, and my dad luckily had the money to build a little house out here in Summit Point, right outside of Charlestown. And I'm in Jefferson County, West Virginia now, and I went to school, started in South Jefferson Elementary. Then I went through middle school, and high school is where I started to find art, because I was into sports. I played a lot of baseball. I started in t-ball, played all the way up through it was machine pitch. Then it was Little League, and then it was Babe Ruth League. And I played a bunch of baseball.
I don't know much about baseball.
Yeah, me neither.
But yeah, it was just it's just a few different
stages.
Leagues as you get older. It's the process that you go through, and then you go to high school baseball or whatever.
Got the Orioles jersey on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love Maryland and DC sports. They're my favorite. So, anyways, I kind of fell out of baseball because I have bad feet. You can't see now, but
no, we're not gonna ask you to show it.
Show it.
But I kind of stopped playing sports because my feet are bad, and I can't run very fast.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm good at everything else except for running. My feet are awkward, and technically one leg is like a centimeter or two shorter than the other, and then
that shit just makes it hard to run.
My feet are like flat, and then like I'm slightly pigeon-toed, and it just all adds up to a bad equation. Yeah, so I can't run basically. I mean, I can run, but I'm just not like super proficient at running. I can hit a baseball, I can catch a baseball, I can do all that, whatever. But so I kind of like got into video games. I was sitting in my mom's basement after school in high school all the time playing Call of Duty. I was a huge Call of Duty nerd. A lot of my friends played like semi-professional, I guess you could say, Call of Duty. One of my friends, Tyler, was sponsored by Turtle Beach, the headset company. Yeah,
Whoa.
Tyler Stoneberger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like low-key sponsored by Turtle Beach, and he got like free headsets when they were first coming out. This is like Call of Duty 4. This is like,
what's Turtle Beach? Like a like a headphone company?
Yeah, you go to GameStop, and it's like Astros, Tritons, and Turtle Beach are like the three main competitors for for the headset, gaming headset brand. So whatever, he was sponsored, and I would play with him all the time. We were just huge Call of Duty nerds, like 6 hours a day after school and stuff. But when I became a senior in high school, you guys remember how the system was and like how you had electives?
Yeah.
Well, basically, you probably knew
before you go in, also to clear up, like we all went to the same high school.
Yeah.
But the difference is we didn't actually like talk in high school. We didn't know each other until like years later.
Yeah.
Until like now, pretty much.
Right.
Basically. So, in high school you get these electives, and I didn't really have to take more than 4 classes my senior year, and this caused a lot of people to be able to leave early, but I wasn't able to leave early because I didn't have a job. You had to have a job to leave early.
Right.
So I had like these 3 classes that I could pick whatever I wanted. I already took my team sports, I already took my gym, I already took my weight or my strength training, so I took like all the athletic things that you could do, and I was like, dang, I don't really want to take any other like weird courses like math or English, or I don't want to do anything boring.
Right.
So I'm like, well, what do I like? I like to play video games. So I like to be on systems, computers, looking at screens. So I'm like, well, what is screen based at least? So I signed up for 3 classes. One was called digital imaging, one was called page layout, and one was something else. Basically, one taught you Adobe InDesign, one taught you Adobe Illustrator, and one taught you Adobe Photoshop.
Yeah, that's dope.
And I took these classes, and it was basically book work. You sat down, opened up your book, and then you would just do your book work, clicking along.
Like a tutorial.
Yeah. Like, it basically tells you literally window
like
to window
the old school tutorial,
and then explains you what to do. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm blowing through this. So I would be the one. I'm not gonna say the first person done. I wasn't like a teacher's pet or anything. I would just be done. So
some people know how to use computers better than others.
Yeah. So like, I didn't realize I was like good or anything. So like, I was just knocking this stuff out. Like, I would always be like one of the first few people done, and my teacher would come and be like, "Are you done already?" I was like, "Yeah." And I would show her, and she's like, "Oh, you did great." Blah blah blah. And I would then I would just go goof off. So like, I remember these websites, addicting games, mini clip.
Oh yeah, those were the
games,
days.
the little flash games.
Yeah.
So I used to play those flash games all the time, and like, but I would have to hide it because if the teacher saw me doing it, I would get in trouble.
You just had that alt tab right there, ready to go.
Yeah, just close out. But I was doing that, but sometimes I would just stay on the program, especially if I liked what I was learning, and just play around. So I was low key making a flash game on what's called Adobe Flash back then. I don't even know if they still have it now, but it was an shooter. It was like a platformer shooter thing.
Yeah.
You like move the arrow keys to move, and then I would press spacebar to shoot a gun. Well, I illustrated these characters from scratch. There was enemies and like an army man, and then I had an AK-47 in his hand, and he would shoot on spacebar, and it was pretty cool. But like, I wasn't like super good at the coding part. But I also had made a website from scratch using just Notepad, like coding in HTML and CSS.
Right.
And basically, she had walked over one day and seen what I was working on. I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Like, what are you doing right now? I was like, oh, I'm making a game and like just making cool art. Like, I was doing weird stuff.
You thought you were in trouble or something?
Yeah. I thought she was going to get me in trouble. And she's like, well, you should submit this into a county-wide or statewide contest.
Yeah.
She was like, submit this and this and this. So I had a faux website. It was like a fake gym website, like for like a weightlifting thing. And then one was the illustration of an army man, and there was one other thing, like a logo, like a fake logo.
Right,
and
right.
I turned these in to this, or I sent him, like, after she begged me, she's like, yo, you should turn these into this contest. I'm like, oh, I mean, whatever. Like, I think you're just trying to suck up to me right now, basically, in my head. I'm like, oh, there's no way this is anything good. So the night of the award ceremony, I stay home and I am, surprised, playing Call of Duty at home.
You didn't go.
I didn't go to the award ceremony. I skipped it.
Yeah, you didn't go.
I skipped it. So listen, I skipped this award ceremony, and my teacher walked up to me. Her name was Miss Gore. The next Monday, I believe. Yeah, shout out to Miss Gore.
Yeah.
She walked up to me, and because I had 3 classes with her, all these computer classes were with her. So I spent like a large portion of my day every day with her. So like I thought she was gonna be one of those teachers who don't like me because I'm sometimes a slacker, but in this class I was just excelling.
Zooming.
And she walked over to me and was like a little upset with me. I'm like, what's the matter with you? Why are you upset at me? Like, I would just be like, yo. Like,
yeah, she was chill. She was chill.
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, what did I do this time? Like,
she's a nice lady.
Yeah, she was so nice. And I was like, what did I do this time? She's like, I'm upset at you, Bailey. I'm like, why? What did I do? Like, what could I possibly do? I totally forgot about this ceremony. Like, I just wanted to play Call of Duty and sleep when I went home. So I was just like chilling. And she's like, well, I got tired. I'm like, tired of what? She told me she got tired of walking up to the podium and accepting my awards for me.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least you won, right?
Yeah, she handed me 3 awards. There were like 2 second places and a 3rd place
What?
award. And these are things that I didn't even want to submit. So
Right.
I didn't put any effort into like winning this challenge.
Right.
And basically, she told me that I got 2nd place on one of them that would have been 1st place if it hadn't been violent, because it was like an army soldier like holding a machine gun. Like,
Jefferson County
and it's
schools.
like it's like some school thing. So like I was like, whatever, it's cool. Like I'll take my awards and walk away. It's cool. So I was like, but then it kind of clicked with me. I'm like, dang, like I actually found something I'm really good at this time. Like I didn't know until now that I can do anything.
You gotta hit the resale.
Yeah, I just turned it off.
Oh,
just muted it. But man, like that's when it kind of clicked with me, because I didn't really have anything I knew I was good at besides like some sports, but I was like I couldn't run, so that didn't help me any. So
you kind of like accidentally fell in love with like creating digital like
it was
stuff.
like it was
images.
Crazy, because like I also had like this other hobby. People are gonna laugh, but like it started out with Nerf guns, and I would take these Nerf guns and I would take my dad's sawhorses and get a piece of plywood, lay them out in the backyard, and I would get some painter's tape and like tear shreds of painter's tape, and I would make like these paint jobs and like spray paint camouflages on these Nerf guns, and I would do like custom Nerf gun modifications.
Would you sell those?
Shoot them. No, I wouldn't sell them, but we would play with them in my basement. I would make them shoot harder, or like open up to where you can put more ammo into them, or whatever, shoot faster. You know, and that would make them look cooler, and like, but I was like, dang, spray painting's fun, so I kind of got into like tagging. I got into like graffiti a little bit. Right. But like, I never really documented it because I was always scared that I would get in trouble for doing what I was doing. So, but that's out there somewhere. Is
around here?
Some tags.
Like around.
Yeah, I've tagged a few things out here. Oh, so
allegedly.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I actually stopped, is because I didn't want to get caught up doing that.
Tough.
So it evolved. So like I was like kind of falling in love with like art and like painting, and then I found Photoshop and like Adobe products, and I realized I was decent at it. So
how old are you around this time?
I was 17.
Yeah.
17. Okay. So this is about 6 years ago, like when I really started. So 6 or 7 years ago, I started this stuff, and I stopped buying shoes because I was just always buying the newest shoes and trying to fit in with everybody in school.
Hype beast then.
Nah, I wasn't a hype beast. I was just buying like Air Maxes.
Were you buying them online
I was buying
at the time?
Air Maxes. Now I was going into the finish line, and sometimes I would camp out. I would camp out for like the foam posits and stuff like that. Right. But man, this is like crazy. I forgot I even did that.
So how's like
Hagerstown.
Yeah. So how does like, cause I know you like managed like artists. How does like the music? Where did the music side come in?
Oh, okay. So yeah. So I just stopped buying shoes, started saving my money from like mowing lawns, hustling, like doing what I could to pinch pennies.
Yeah.
I try to keep my hustles legal because I don't want to get caught up for some dumb shit. Like, I'm too talented. I speak of myself kind of highly, and I don't want to goof up. So
Right.
so I kind of like try and stay away from anything that'll get me in trouble. But I got my computer from mowing lawns and stuff, helping my dad with landscaping and different people, because he had like a little lawn mowing company. He doesn't have it anymore, but it was called the Uppercut. It was a pretty cool ass name.
Nice.
But
you made a logo for him?
yeah, I helped him make his branding for like the side of his truck or whatever.
Oh, dope. It's still
like,
out there?
Nah, he got rid of it. It like
true.
wore away after years. But I kind of was into that stuff, and what happened was I was listening to a lot of rap music, and like one of the first pieces that I can remember I ever made was actually some Mac Miller fan art, and it was this picture. I took a picture of like Mac on stage somewhere off the internet, like in a high res picture, and then I drew over top of it and kind of like pretty much just traced him out.
Yeah.
And then like put my own style on it and just posted it online, and people like kind of shared it or whatever, and then it became a thing. Like when people saw that I could do that for one person, like I did that for you, for example, you were like, "Yo, that's cool. I want that."
Like your friends.
Right.
And then I was like, "Oh, there's a market for this."
Right.
Like a little word of mouth.
Yeah. So like I basically started out doing fan arts for artists, like bigger artists, and then eventually they would repost them on their Instagram or repost them on Twitter.
It was
whatever.
on Instagram. What were you using
It was
Instagram,
before,
Twitter?
Yeah, it was before I wiped my Instagram, but I had all like a whole page full of illustrations.
On Insta.
Yeah, on Instagram mostly, and people saw these illustrations. You know, I would draw them on Illustrator or Photoshop, and I had a Wacom tablet, and I was drawing, and people saw that and were like, "Yo, I'll pay you to do that."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yo, people will pay me to do this. Like, this is fun." Like,
your
this
eyes
is fun.
lit up.
Yeah.
Wait, were you in college at the time?
No, I was in high school. I was like in between high school and college. So I took a year off of I took a year off after high school to decide what I was doing, but I told myself that after that year I'm either going to college or going to do whatever else, and that's that. So I was working at the go-kart track then. That was
What'd your parents say about that?
Go-kart track.
yeah, my first job was fresh. It was a go-kart track.
Where's that at?
It was in Summit Point at the Motorsports Park.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
They
had
relocated to DC recently, but it was my first job. But
We
it
should
was
go
badass.
soon.
That'd be dope.
What'd your parents think about like how you moved, like with like mowing the lawn?
I kind
like,
of kept them like out
keeping
of the
a
loop.
gap year.
I kind of kept them out of the loop because I was working at the go-kart track on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, helping out my dad during the week here and there, and saving up for this computer. Got the computer popping, and then after that, I kind of like started accepting commissions, and I stopped doing the fan art. I was like, okay, people are now fans of me instead of me being fans of everybody else.
How
And,
much
like,
you charged back then for?
bro, it was like $20.
Right.
It was
okay.
like nothing. It was like,
And it took you like how
it was
much time?
Like 3 or 4 hours. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, I'll just do this so I can get like a case of beer or whatever and go party with my friends. Like it was just like some petty stuff that I was doing just for fun. But it was also me not knowing my worth. But I mean, no one was there to tell me my worth. It's not like I had there was no network of other people doing what I was doing around me. I was just like kind of like a little,
yeah. You're in West Virginia, like
I was
nobody like that's another
didn't
reason.
know.
Yeah, nobody.
That's the hard part.
I was a little
Nobody's
wolf.
doing it. Nobody
Yeah.
was doing it.
So I was kind of doing that thing, and then the illustration got too tedious, and I'm like, dang, this is boring. So I can still do it. Like I still make some sweet drawings when I want to, and I'd rather make physical art though. But yeah, so like it evolved, and I got here. I kind of like I went by a different moniker back then. I had pronounced Korea, and it's like a play on my last name. And then I had Korea DZN, which was like short for design. And then I was like, wait, I don't like this because I don't want to be known as just a designer. So I dropped the DZN, and now I'm Bailey Unlimited, and that's that. So I have other plans to branch.
And this is like what this is still in your gap year.
This was like a year after my gap year, so I took the 1 year off, and then I like decided I'm gonna go to school. And
Where'd you go?
I went to WVU for a couple years. Yeah.
Okay. A couple years. Okay, so you didn't finish.
Yeah, I didn't finish.
How was it up there?
It was
Did you enjoy
sick. It was sick. So basically, I didn't really find anyone to hang out with besides my one buddy Ryan, and a lot of friends I had up there were just like, it just seemed like they weren't on the same type of thing that I'm on, because I like to I don't like to party all the time. So
Right,
I
right.
did
Yeah,
my
that's a
party.
big party.
I had did my partying when I was 16. Like I had started early, like with the drinking and stuff, and
Yeah.
like I just felt like I was wasting time. Like I became like a super like I just fell in love with what my passion, like design and like making art and creating and making like beautiful images for people. I just want to like represent.
Yeah.
I just want to be a part of like a huge creative process. Like it's just something that's always been like amazing to me. So I kind of like this like separated myself from a lot of people that wanted to party all the time, and I just kind of like
You focus.
was just like making
Solo.
art. I was just making art. Like I was like seeing if I could even like just pay rent off of art while I'm going to class. So
Right,
like
right.
I was like skipping out on the parties and just like working,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It paid off, but it also sucked because I kind of like. It kind of like affected my mental health because I didn't have any friends. Like I just didn't care. I just didn't want like I would go to Sheets. I would get like a little snack and go sit up in my room for 8 hours and just work and eat a snack while I'm like designing and not really go out much. But I kind of fell out of the partying scene with it though because I was learning about myself. Like I just
Right.
wanted to make things and I always want to make things.
Yeah, and you didn't have like anybody else that was into that.
No,
So you were just
no.
had to like cut yourself off. 'Cause,
I
like,
didn't even know like any
You
artists.
realize.
I didn't know like any like music artists or musicians that I could like be like, oh, I want to go hang out in the studio with you guys and make art for you
Right,
or
right,
something.
right.
Like I literally knew no one. Like I was doing this all off the internet, and it was like,
Yeah.
and it didn't seem tangible to a lot of people. And people would talk to me, and they would be like, oh, that's nice. They would just be like, oh, that's cool that you do things online, like. And it was like hard to be like, oh, but I mean, it's tangible, whatever. Like I believe in this, and like,
Of course.
like you'll see it, but like a lot of people never see that, and they don't believe, and but it's just it's all about like being persistent,
Right,
and not
right.
like hearing that stuff out.
Yeah,
just, like,
and it's
proving it.
weird like small town, like I don't know if it's like a mentality, but
Mm-hmm.
you there's a bunch of people that just never have been in like a big city or like
Yeah.
like don't know like because even if you're in a small town or a city, like the internet's gonna seem smaller because you got like so many friends versus like over here like you have a lot of friends that know other people that somehow make it into
It's like
your
a
network.
closed circle. When you have a
Yeah.
small town, it's like a closed circle.
Yeah.
And it's hard to
Even
like
online.
get out of that
Yeah.
circle most of the time.
Yeah. Dude.
So you turned into to the internet at the time.
Oh
Like-
yeah, I'm basically always like that's where I got my stuff going. Like I make decent money like just being on the internet.
How'd you network back then?
Oh, it was
Twitter.
real spammy. Like
Yeah.
I felt like I would have thought like nowadays I would have thought I was spam. Like I was going around, I was like reaching out to people. I was like there was like a lot of like C-list artists you could say. So like anyone who's like kind of blowing up like Blueface right now, like the
Yeah.
artist who like raps offbeat. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
have heard
yeah.
him.
I heard of.
But like, I would have reached out to like him or like 2 years ago like Uno and Fawny, like when they were just coming out the gates, or like artists like that, and I would be like, yo, I'll make your covers, and I would do it for free. I was just like, make sure you tag me. I need credit on this because that's how I get fans. Because
Right,
like
right.
if this dude is hot and I get a project with him, then people are gonna see that I'm fire. Like I'm gonna give 130,000%, even though I'm not getting paid for it a dime, and I'm gonna give them all I got, and then that's how I got my clientele. Was
Yeah.
like I kind of like would just flex. I would just like be like, oh look,
Yeah.
look what I like. Look at this guy. He's gonna blow up next year. He'll be famous, and I did this project for him. And XXXXXX is gonna see it, and then this guy's gonna want something like that, and this guy's gonna want something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's my bread back.
It's like your payment are the eyes
Yeah.
that see your art.
Yeah,
but,
and that's like- that's
impressions.
beginning.
Impressions only work though if you got original stuff. Like if you look like everybody else's stuff and you try and like do that tactic and like reach out and be like, I'll do this for free for you,
Right, right.
and you look like the next guy, nobody's gonna want that because
Right.
you look like a knockoff or a clone. So
Right,
like
right.
you have to be original. So like I would really come with the fire. Like that's when I got my big credits. I got Tory Lanez, Chief Keef, Young Dro, Lil Durk, I believe, and then like Mike Jones, Cameron, Bobby V, and a few other like really big artists under my belt for like as far as flyers and Currency. I did a flyer for Currency.
Damn, that's tough.
But, like-
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like that's how that happened. So like you kind
So
of
are all these like commissioned, or are all
these are
like
commissioned through either the agency that's putting on the show or through the actual artist. Sometimes
were they all flyers or were they covers, flyers?
Some covers, some features on the covers, and then some flyers. But like a lot of like big name people, I've like touched their work. Like
But what time was this? What like time frame?
This was 2016.
Okay.
2015, 2016, I was really working on trying to get like a credential list,
Yeah.
like someone to say like, so if I tell somebody like, dude, I want this much amount of money and you're not gonna give me anything less because this is how much I'm worth because these guys rock with me,
right,
and, like,
right.
Then you like you're undeniable at that point. So
You using your Instagram as a portfolio?
Yeah, my Instagram was mostly a portfolio back then.
Yeah.
Was this when you were still at WU or?
Yeah, I was at WU during this time, but it also was posting cover arts. Man, my covers were so weak. My art was really weak back then, and I can't believe anybody liked it. But
Did you network with anybody at WVU while at WVU?
Yeah. I want to shout out Day One Lifestyle because they
Garrett?
are, they kind of were like my mentors. This guy named Garrett or Fabs304 on Twitter
Yes.
at Fabs304. Check him out. He's a
Redhead.
he's an amazing photographer and a great dude.
Sure.
He's a friend of mine, and
Came to our party that one time.
I think he did photography for one of our parties in Morgantown.
very possible.
He just came and took pictures. We didn't even ask
He
him.
just pops out, dude.
Yeah.
He's really for the culture.
Yeah, he throws like big parties. I haven't been to like the ones.
He does shows at 1234 or 123 Pleasant Street in Morgantown.
Yeah,
It's a
123.
I've seen him at main stage too. I forget who was performing there, but I've seen him in there taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah, so like he does tons of cool photos, and basically we became friends, and he helped me get in contact with this dude named Chris Allen. And Chris Allen's an artist out there too, but he's now moved to either DC and then he records in New York a lot.
Right.
But
he's getting a little bit of clout too.
yeah, he's coming up, and that's my boy. I used to like co-manage him for a little bit.
Right.
But Garrett was like his main manager. Like I would just help. I would just always give my input because Garrett was really good at the keeping his head on straight stuff, and I was like really good at like the moves to make type of stuff, like who to work with or like what's next or how to get his name on this show, and that was kind of Garrett's thing too. But like we just kind of collaborated and helped paint his image.
Y'all co-managed him, and I remember he used to do mad shows like
he does
anything,
tons of shows.
anything that would pop up.
He actually did a show at the Metropolitan in Morgantown, I believe it's called. And
Yeah,
Kendrick Lamar headlined there in like 2013 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendrick was there.
I went to that show. I went to that Kendrick show. Yeah, there was that was like when he had
crazy?
just dropped Good Kid.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I like went. I was a freshman.
Dude, that's crazy.
And I went to that show, and I remember like I listened to Section 80 when I was like in 11th grade.
Wait, so you're talking about the theater?
The Met.
It was a theater type place, right?
on High Street.
Yeah, well, Chris actually headlined that place. Like, we set up a show there. We booked that place out and had Chris headline a show there, and that was like a step for me. I was like, dang, like everything slowly becomes more real. So it's not like when you're really building off the internet, it's like it's never fast. And
a lot of people think it is
something that you have to accept as an outsider. It looks very, very fast.
Right.
And the internet does look very fast from the outside, but when you're just reaching out and like trying to network and you don't have like super big connections and you don't have an industry plug or whoever, it's like it takes a lot of work, and nobody really recognized that, and that's why I didn't even like to talk about it. Like that's why I couldn't find my friends or like you guys. Like I couldn't be like, yo, I'm into design and I make it for rappers. Like people would have been like, what? You like you do cover arts and stuff? I was like, yeah, man, like I do cover arts, like, and like it would be like hard.
But it's not just cover art.
It's just hard for any creative really to explain what they're trying to do.
Yeah, so,
at least around here.
So I consider the Met like one of my milestones with Chris. I don't know, he probably doesn't even see it as a milestone. It wasn't like a packed out show or anything, but it was just a big deal to us because we were a bunch of friends, and he was like helping a rapper like build a name for himself or whatever. So we did that, and then I also got connected with the DJ. The DJ is actually named DJ Dollar, and he does all the basketball games and the football games for WVU, and he's actually my good friend too. And Dollar hooked me up with a paid opportunity for one of the biggest things I've ever done, and I'm super proud of this still to this day, is I designed his logo, which was really cool. And then, but the coolest thing is where that logo ended up. That logo would be projected onto the jumbotron in the middle of the basketball court, like arena.
When he would play.
Yeah, whenever he would play, which is the beginning of almost every home game for a few seasons. Like there was something that I made, like
for sure,
on the jumbotron. I would be like, "Hey, Mom, like, you remember when I was making art in your basement and you used to want to kick me out or tell me to like not do this and go be productive? Well, look what's up there now."
That definitely that moment is like what changes parents, like, oh shit, like this is real.
So
because basketball games are huge in Morgantown.
Yeah, like thousands of people are coming out there, and like,
definitely.
I mean, it didn't have my name on it or anything, and like only a few select people knew that was me. But like, that's still like, it was like, and what also, I was undecided my first year, so I didn't know what I wanted to do in college. And
not even like graphic design.
I wasn't sure because I didn't want to go to art school. I guess because graphic design is considered art, so you have to paint.
You have to do all the other shit.
Yeah, you have to do like studio hours and paint like for like so many hours a day or something. And I'm like, I can do that, but do I really have to pay $30,000 a year to show you guys that I know how to paint? Like I didn't want to do that, so I wanted to do something applied. So I did my major in business with a minor in advertising, and advertising is just the industry version of graphic design. You know, it's like billboards, signs, anything, posters, you always see that stuff. So I just wanted to do something that design is applied to and make my bread off of it, because art degrees aren't always tangible, to be realistic. And I didn't want to be in debt for years because I thought that art was great. And I love art, so art would always be a hustle. And my dream is still to open up a design firm or have a business somewhere where people can come in and like get professional work done. Maybe I print vinyl stickers or do whatever. Basically, growing and progressing was like always just something on my mind. So I knew that, and I still know that I don't always, and I won't always do cover arts. Like I want to be more rare. I want to do like pretty much more
different
rare
venues.
Yeah, I want to do like pop-ups and art galleries and stuff. Like I want to do like something like bigger. Like,
I mean, you're creative. That was like your in.
Yeah.
But now you got like
now I got room to grow, and that's what I'm trying to do right now.
So that's Morgantown.
Yeah.
So tell me about like you left. You're like, I decided to not do the college route. Like after that it gets harder, right?
Well, to be completely transparent, it didn't. It became.
Your cards.
Hold on.
It's all good.
Let's give it a second. See if we can like we'll restart.
Bet.
We'll start. We'll pick up.
DIADOZ.
Alright, bet. Alright, we're back. Is it recording? Alright, we're back. So where did we leave off?
I was talking about how I decided to leave school. Basically, I was too focused on my design shit to like really. I was skipping classes and just fucking off too much, making art, trying to get through this shit, and I just didn't care about class. I was skipping classes and just being a bum, like making art all the time. Like if I wasn't busy, like I was beating myself up about it, but I didn't want to do nothing that wasn't working towards where I want to go.
Right.
So like this, the design stuff took off a little bit more, and I just was busy like either making flyers or doing covers or banners, logos, all that stuff, helping with direction for shows,
Just trying to stay busy.
Yeah, every year Garrett would do the, Fabs would do the show down at 123, and I would help with the stage direction and stuff like that, the image and the branding for all that shit.
You got a shirt for them on, right?
Yeah, right now it's this April Showers show.
That one looked fire. With the hounds.
Yeah, it's got like a big logo on the back. It goes crazy. But yeah, so I was just busy on design all the time, and I skipped out on class, and my grades plummeted, and I just realized that like I just didn't care. And that's when it came to me that I had to tell my parents. I was like, well, this is what I want to do, and I don't really give a fuck about this class shit, and I'll get back to it when I can, but I ain't got time to waste. Like, it felt like a waste of time, because what I was doing wasn't even really my passion. I was going to do business, and that was math, and I didn't even fucking like math, so.
But you're already doing business,
Yeah, like I was already handling business online and shit like that, so I just didn't really, I just didn't really go with the flow anymore. I kind of just left it. And after my second year, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this no more. So my credits are still there waiting for me whenever I want to show up again, but I really just want to, like, take this art to the next level.
All right, you left college, like, after that, who did you start working with? Like, how did your mentality change? Because it had to, like...
I was working with Chris a lot, like, mainly Chris. Like, that was my main focus, was making sure Chris got his art direction handled, all of his creative stuff, and me and Chris worked a lot. But then, like, when I left school, I kind of wanted to just get back into working so I can make money, as much money as I could, to do what I want to do.
Right.
So that's how I got to, like, I went to LA last year, and I went to Texas and Arizona, and I went to Louisiana and shit like that, just meeting clients and working with people in my network. And yeah, it was just amazing. It was the best time of my life.
How'd you get, like, what'd you do out, like...
Basically, so in Louisiana, I crashed at a DoubleTree, and then I stopped in Houston and hung out with my boy Screenager, who also is the designer.
Oh, yeah.
And we've done a lot of collabs together. We did, he was the first designer I ever did collabs with, and we've done like 3 or 4 big pieces together. But then I went out to Corpus Christi, which is where Deshaun De Garçon, or Fatboy Sean, was living, and I hung out in his studio, and we just made a bunch of records with another collective called New South. And I was basically just bumming, getting drunk, and making art all week there. And then I went up north to Amarillo, and I hung out with my boy Nick Six, who's now in home base. And Nick Six has a studio out there called Animal Kingdom, and I was recording with an artist named The Trees, helping him do his creative direction. And we stayed in the studio from June 20 or June 30th or something, all the way to the 4th of July, and dropped a tape. We did like 8 songs, and then I did the full art direction. You know, I shot photos for it, and then I used them on the artwork. I actually took his hand, covered his hand in paint, took a piece of paper, slapped his hand on a piece of paper, and then let that shit dry on like an air conditioner, and I put it into a scanner, scanned it into a printer, and we loaded it up, and then I cropped it out and made it like the center of the artwork was his hands. So like you had the front and back cover, it looked like he slapped his wet hands of paint just on the cover. And then I rendered out some, like, what are those, ransom notes? I made like a fake ransom note.
Oh, okay.
And like made like, because we called it 070417, which was July 4th 2017, and it was kind of just like a staple project, and we dropped it while there was fireworks going off outside the studio. And that was pretty tight. That was a big highlight, because the producers were all in house, like making the beats and shit.
Was that your first time in like that environment?
Yeah, that was my first time in like a real studio environment, because Nick actually owns the studio. Like he's the main engineer. He owns the A room and the B room and everything.
Shout out to
and
Nick.
Yeah, he's amazing. Actually, yeah, big shout out to Six Nick, because he just overcame like a huge disease. Like he got like a major part of his body removed or something.
Dang.
Yeah, he's been going through it. He's only got one more surgery left. He's been through 2 big ones, and he's got what's called ulcerative colitis. You know, make sure y'all look up and be aware about that. Anyways, after that, I went out to Arizona, linked up with my boys from Ill Roots, So Gross, Jordan, and Eric G. Eric G is like a editor / contributor for Ill Roots. He's like the head guy, and that's my boy. And we linked up in Arizona. I was out there for like a day or 2. I actually love Arizona. People think it's probably like hot as hell out there. Well, it is, but it's like dry heat. It's not like out here where it's real moist and damp. So if you go on a run and like start sweating, it just like comes right off you. It's like not like it doesn't get sticky.
Like,
you don't feel sticky.
Evaporates.
Yeah. So like the 110 degrees is like,
it's not like Florida weather.
Like like I prefer 110 in Arizona than I do like 85 or 90 out here. Like it's just better. It feels so much better. But yeah, and then after that, finished out the trip. We had an Airbnb out in LA, and went up to the observatory and toured all the beaches.
Did all the LA shit.
Yeah, I went out to like Melrose and did all that shit, and I ended up in I went up to like 3 or 4 beaches. I can't even remember which all the beaches they were, but I was like just touring the place. You know, I love the beach. You know, I like the weather, and just the stuff to do out there was amazing. So I ended up in some studios and like went to a record label, and kind of got to meet some people and ended up meeting some new friends and basically just having the time of my life. I learned a lot about the scene and the industry, and I rolled back and then I traveled back across the country and pulled back in my driveway in one piece, and that's when it all became real. Like, it was like, okay, so I can really do something with this. Like, I can really go touring and, like, do things that are, like, bigger than just being here. So.
Yeah, so, like, and these are all the first time you go to these places.
Yeah.
First time you meet the people you met.
Bro, I had never left the East Coast before then. Before that trip.
So when did you get back to West Virginia? Like, when was the time that you decided?
It took me a month. It was like June 22nd or something. No. It was like June 14th-ish or something. I quit my job. I quit my heating and air conditioning job and took the money I had and jumped in my Honda and drove across the country and back, and just like I had planned it out, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. My job isn't paying me enough. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna come back, and I already got my hustle, like, because I was making bread on the road too.
Right.
So like I was doing commission work, and I wasn't really fucking around too much out there, but I had my fun though. Like, I made it worthwhile. I tried to balance out my time. I was real like, I was real on top of all that stuff.
Discipline. That's hard. Yeah. Especially like, what, you're like 18 or 19 at the time.
No. It was after college, so I was like 22 last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just getting fried all the time.
Yeah, bro. I partied a lot in Corpus and a little bit in LA, but there was just so much shit in like business that I had to handle out in LA. It was amazing, you know. Like, I got to go backstage with Nestle and TM88 and shit. Like, it was fucking crazy, bro.
So like
I was hanging out with, like, you know, you ever seen the comedian Retro Spectro?
No, I haven't actually.
All right, well, he's a funny dude online. He's viral all the time, and he was at the table with me, Y2K, Nestle, and TM88. We were all at a table at Denny's at 2 a.m. in the middle of LA, and like that just made me realize, like, a lot of this shit that you think isn't tangible is really tangible. Like, and these people, they seem like regular people, bro. Like, despite all the diamonds and chains, like, a lot of them are some real, like, regular day people. Like, we were joking about dumb shit. Like, we were just flirting with the waiter or whatever. Like, just talking shit on the waiter, you know? Like, it's cool. But, what's up? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, after LA, or, you know, just till recently, like, from last year to this year, like what are some of the bigger names that you've like have commissioned you or you work with?
I've been like really avoiding major commissions, but like I did the Currency project. I helped him with a tour flyer. I helped him just do editing. It was basically revision work. Yeah. But I did a few other big projects. I really don't tally them up anymore. I don't really care about who I'm working with anymore. Like I said, I did that big run of where I was like trying to work with all the big artists so I could build a fan base of clientele up. But now I just have the regular average everyday Joes who I knock out work for them, you know. Yeah. Try to make them look the best I can, and that's all I really care about.
I really like your Big Baby Gucci cover. That was pretty fire.
Yeah, the Big Baby Gucci one. Wait, which one was that?
That was the one where like.
Wait, Big Baby Scumbag or
Big Baby Scumbag, my bad.
Which
Big
one?
Baby Scumbag.
The Dale Earnhardt one?
The one with that one, and the one with like the red text, and like it was a photo of him, and there was like graffiti, like he was on the wall.
I don't even remember.
That reminded me of like,
I saw the Dale one. Dale one was fucking hard.
The Dale Earnhardt one was like my favorite, but I don't even remember. I've done like 3. Oh, was it the Jodeci cover? Or no, I did Jodeci.
I would look it up.
Whatever. I did a few covers for him. I forget all of them. But he's a great dude, yo. I met him out in D.C. while he was on tour with Oliver. And we linked up out there for a night. Got a few drinks in us after the show. And he's a real good-ass dude to hang out with, low-key. Yeah. Like, he's funny as hell online, too. But he's just like a regular dude in person. It's so cool. Like,
he's just got that father. Yeah. That father feature.
Yeah, him and Zach Fox are good friends. Zach Fox is always booty math. He's always viral on Twitter and shit. And
he's hilarious.
Yeah, but yo, Big Baby's cool shit. Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Big Baby.
I worked with both of them though. You got him confused with Big Baby.
Yeah.
But I have done shit with Big
There's
Baby.
mad Big Babies out there.
Yeah,
there's mad Gucci.
There's a collective.
There's mad Big Baby Gandhi, Gucci, Scumbag, and then there's like a regular just Big Baby, I believe. But
it's just like a plain Big Baby.
I don't know. They're all like in a low key war over the name, and I'm like, Just don't get me tied up with that, bro. I'm just trying to be here,
Yeah.
like, do my shit, and that's it. Like, but
So at this point, you had came back from WVU.
Wait,
You kind of what?
Sorry, yo, Swid Life.
Swid Life.
Talk to me about Swid Life.
Okay. Swid Life, real quick, is a blog that was originally called Somewhere in Denver, SWID, thus the new name. But it was originally called Somewhere in Denver. I linked up with this guy online. His name was Mally. He commissioned me to do some logos and stuff. And I was like, dude, this is fire and all. Like, you have good work ethic when it comes to writing, but it could be a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I didn't want to intentionally fully talk him out of the whole idea of being a Denver-based hip hop blog. And they basically what we did was like, he was like, dude, there's just not that much going on in Denver, you know, like it's hard to get any traction, and does anybody really care other than just a few select people about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And it wasn't big enough for him, so I'm like, yo, let's rebrand your shit. And he was like, what, Swid blog? I was like, let's not get rid of the name so we don't lose the people who are like in tune with the brand already. So like, let's just kind of like modify it. And it's like Swid hip hop, Swid rap. I'm like, no. Do Swid Life, like a lifestyle brand or something. And so like, the name came out between me and him. We designed came up with the name. I did the logo. I've done like 2 or 3 different logos for them, but because they've like changed their image a few times.
Right.
Like I did like one that was like a pen and pixel style with the diamonds encrusted in it.
I saw that one.
And I've also done one that was like kind of like a rainbow. And yeah, so like, but I linked up with them and I helped him kind of get his direction going the right way, really.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just goes to show, like, it's not just, like, art that you work with. You work with, like, on a lot of fronts. Like, that's a whole blog.
Oh, dude, I mean, I've done everything from, well, something really random I've done. I made a logo for, like, a cleaning company before, you know? Yeah. Like, I've done the DJ Dollar show that was on top of was at the WVU Coliseum on the big screen. And I've done, like, just a range of stuff, but hip-hop's really my niche, man. I love the music shit. Like, I love being around it.
So at this point, you had came back from WVU. You kind of figured out what you wanted to do. So where do you go from here? Like,
oh, okay. So I left WVU. I came back, started working. My next step is so one of my goals long term would be to work with an artist who can basically put me on salary, like will take care of me, like give me like put food on the table for me, and then I in return fully brand them. You know, I'll do music videos, I'll do photos, make their Instagram look fly, I'll keep up with their Twitter, I'll make their cover arts, their flyers, their banners, their all that shit.
You're talking about a label.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah, like my own, just the visual aspect of the label, the creative the creative direction of an artist, basically. Yeah. And that would be like, my goal was to be like an in-house guy for someone. Yeah. You know, go on tour, take their photos on tour, you know, make sure their shit looks pristine and just be on top of that, and that'd be a job. But that's like a minor step in the big trace of goals, because my final goal is to like open up a full design firm.
Right.
I would like to have a whole team of designers behind me to like really make some bigger shit than just music.
Dope. Well, tell us like what you're working on right now, and like what, you know, the moves, the immediate moves.
Right now, I'm working on. I got this mix with a DJ called You Can't Finesse, and it's called Turmoil. It's the first volume of this potential series. Wink, wink, cough, cough. Might be more of them, but that shit's coming out tomorrow night, between 8 and 9 o'clock.
I don't know when this video is gonna come out, so you might as well say go check it out.
Oh yeah. So it'll be out. What is it? November.
It'll be out.
It's November right now. Yeah, it'll be out tomorrow, November 9th. So it'll be out on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Baileyultd, BAILEYULTD, and that's the same social media as my Twitter and Instagram.
Good man.
You could probably link it.
So, yeah. So you mentioned like when we were off camera, or you mentioned earlier that you were like not working as much as before, but like this is something you've been working on.
Yeah. So I just came off a hiatus. I took like a couple weeks break to like handle some shit, because a couple months back I totaled my whip, and I'm trying to like get situated for a new car and get back on my feet with this design shit so I can go travel. Because I mean I have opportunities in and out of state. So on the low, a guy from Atlantic Records just reached out to me in July, like a few days before I told him my whip about getting a creative director position. And I'm not going to tell you his name, but he's been a writer for Double XL and Vibe since the 90s. So he's been in the music industry a long time. And that was like an opportunity that I kind of had to let slip out. And I didn't want to make that, like I didn't want that to happen, but I couldn't get to New York. Like my car was gone. So I got a job, picked up a little job on the weekends, and I'm working just about full time.
Right.
And then I'm hustling. I'm doing reselling and reselling some like shoes and Supreme and shit like that. And then I do my design. So I'm trying to like have multiple sources of income. They say the average millionaire has 7 sources of income.
That passive income. Yeah, I saw you like you're flipping shoes now. You're flipping this.
Yeah. I flip everything.
I don't know if you want to talk about like that whole bot game, or if it's on the low.
Well,
you don't want to give too many keys out.
There might be another interview or something where I'll bring that reselling shit up, but that's a long thing to go into.
Yeah, no, for sure. But so back to like this turmoil. So you like.
Bro. So turmoil.
You crashed your whip, right?
Yeah. I crashed my car. I crashed my car in July, and then I kind of been in a funk since then. It was like a few days before my birthday, and like my girl was coming out here, and she was supposed to be here for the week, and she came out, and I didn't have a whip, and it was just like, I felt like an embarrassment and shit. So that happened, and then I kind of turned it into art. So I was on Photoshop after like having my commissions closed for a week or two because I just wanted to chill and like get my mind together. I put together this started making a piece of art on Photoshop just for myself, and I was like turmoil, and I was like, cause like that's what I was like feeling. I was like feeling like I was in turmoil, so I called it turmoil, and then I was looking on Google, and I found this picture of a crashed Lambo, and I made it look hard, and put some like doves and some feathers on it, like feathers falling off the dove, and it's kind of symbolic, and then I called it Crash the Whip music, and it's like listen to this before you crash the whip.
Definitely.
And it's called Turmoil because it was like kind of all tied into something that I went through. So that's that, and that shit drops tomorrow night. It's like 10 songs, 1-track mix, clocks in it specifically like right around 20 minutes. And yeah, it's put together by my DJ friend You Can't Finesse. We went halfsies on the songs and picked half the songs, and then he made sure the BPMs were tight.
Well, we'll definitely.
And then we went half on the transitions, and the transitions are like my favorite part.
Yeah.
Shit's so fresh.
Yo, so we'll definitely link that. We'll have people listen to that. But yeah, on that note, like, coming back. That's the first thing you're coming back with, and now you're doing this. You're dropping that tomorrow, so hopefully.
I'm super excited to do that, man.
And yeah, I think you got something to add.
No.
Other than that, I think that's where we can end it.
All right.
Yeah.
Right on time because I'm just now out of water.
All right, bro. Thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
It was nice having you.
Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Close it.
Good.
Close it.
We out.